What is going on, guys? Welcome back. In this video today, I want to present to you guys 10 awesome sources for datasets when it comes to machine learning or data science projects. So let us get right into it. Alright, so we're going to take a look at 10 different sources for datasets when it comes to machine learning and data science projects in this video today. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the features of the individual platforms. This is more of a list where I just want to show you the different sources, and if there is something special about them, I'm going to point it out. But overall, this is more of a list and not really a detailed review of the individual websites. So let us get right into it. The first one is Kaggle, and I don't think that Kaggle will surprise anyone here on this list. This is one of the most famous websites and platforms where you can get data sets. This is oftentimes what we use in the tutorials on this channel as well. You have various data sets for regression tasks and classification tasks and time series prediction and also various computer vision, NLP tasks and so on. And usually you have a data set and then you have also some code associated with it, which is people basically sharing their notebooks where they work with the data set. So for example, here we have this IMDb movie data set. I can go to code and I can see people have already published or shared their code, how they work with the data set. Oftentimes it's the full process of making the predictions. Oftentimes it's just data exploration depending on the data set. And you also have competitions here. So you have data sets oftentimes also where there's prize money, but I'm actually talking now about the free competitions. Like here you have swag and knowledge and stuff like this, where you can go into the data set, you can get the test data that you don't have the labels for, and then you can submit your predictions basically, and then you get a score, and then you have a leaderboard and so on. So Kaggle is a very nice platform, especially if you want to play around and learn a little bit. So if you are someone who learns data science and your projects are mainly focused on education or studying and practicing, I think Kaggle is a very, very good platform for that, and it's one of the most well-known platforms. The second source I want to talk about is Hugging Face, and I'm sure most of you guys will be familiar with Hugging Face already. I made a video a while ago on Hugging Face, what it is, and the fact that it's basically a machine learning hub where you have different models that you can use with Python packages. You have various tasks that you can filter by, but you also have data sets. So you can use Hugging Face not just to get some models and some transformers and diffusers and so on, but you actually also have data. So for example, if I want to have some image data, I can filter by modalities here. I can also filter by name. For example, I don't know, do I have some Pokemon data sets? There you go. I have some Pokemon data set, which is going to be images of Pokemon. And then I also have the types and so on. So if I want to do maybe a classification task, I can use this data set here. And this is also a platform that is primarily, but not exclusively, focusing on computer vision and natural language processing. So this is anything that goes into the direction of working with images or working with text data is going to be probably found on Hugging Face, because Hugging Face is has a very strong focus, let's say, on natural language processing and computer vision. And this is one of my favorite websites to use models, but also to use data sets. So here you can also easily get data sets, and you can also download them in Python using code. So you don't have to actually take them from here. You can actually use code. I think it shows it here. Pandas, or actually Pandas is just loading it from a CSV file. But if I go to datasets, you can see I can say from datasets import load dataset, and then I can just do it like this. And this works perfectly fine as well. Next up, we have papers with code, and this website is special because it combines datasets, code samples, and papers on a single platform. So the basic idea here is that for each dataset that you see here, we have the number of papers that are related to it. We have benchmarks and so on. Of course, now these are the most popular datasets, for example, the Cypher 10 dataset, but we can see which papers are somehow related to it. Then I can click on these papers, for example, on this one here. And I can see also for each paper, where do I have maybe code that is related to this paper, what other data sets are related to this paper, then I can click on those. I can also for each data set see related data sets, so similar data sets, and I can also see how to get them. So what are the data set loaders, where can I get this data from? And this is a very nice platform if you are reading a lot of papers, if you're interested in reproducibility, if you are interested in scientific research. This is actually not a platform or website necessarily focusing on data sets per se. This is more focusing on papers in general and reproducibility. So it's oftentimes also just focusing on code, it's focusing on data sets as well, and so on. But that is a very nice website if you are interested in that kind of data. If you want to know what data is related to this specific paper I'm interested in, you can find many papers here. For example, famous papers like attention is all you need. Then I can click on this. It will get me to the paper. And here I can also see what specific things I could be interested in regarding this paper. And then I can look deeper into that. So this is a very nice platform if you go into that direction. Then we also have OpenML, and I would say this is one of the lesser known websites, so it's not as big, it doesn't have as many data sets, but I like the interface, and to be honest, I don't know if I can say much things about this that are special. So it's just a website with data sets. You can filter them, you can go to data sets, you can search them, you can use different filters depending on instances, features, targets, formatting, and so on. But it's just another website where you can get datasets from. And I have used it in the past. I think for a university project, we were only allowed to get datasets from 1, 2, 3 sources, and this was one of them. So I think this is a nice website, a collaborative platform, again, focusing on machine learning data. And yeah, I would say it's just another source that you could look into. Now we get to a classic, the UCI machine learning repository. This is one of the most well-known, oldest, and probably also most trustworthy and reliable dataset sources out there. It's from a university, so it's academic, it's professional, it's well-maintained, and besides that, I don't know really if there's something super special to point out here, because it's just a classic. The list wouldn't be complete without this source. You can see many classic datasets here, like the iris dataset, the wine quality dataset. And you can also see that when you go to a dataset, you have this professional overview over it. You also have a package, UCI ML repo, to get the dataset easily into your Python code. You can also download it. So I would say this is just a very classic, old, trustworthy, academic, professional dataset source, and you should have it in your repertoire if you're looking for data. Then we have something slightly different, which is a GitHub repository that collects dataset links in a central place. So this is the awesome public datasets repository. And when you scroll down here, you're going to see that we have links to different datasets, because what's oftentimes the case is that you have data that is provided by a specific organization or for a specific project, and it's not really part of a platform like Kaggle or Hugging Face. You have an individual website that is made for this data set or for a group of data sets. And this is more or less a central place to collect all these links. So you can go, for example, to something like, I don't know, let's go to economics, and then I can go to BIS financial database. And here you can see now I have this specific website, which is made for this specific type of data. And here I can download the data sets, which maybe I'm not going to find on Kaggle or Hugging Face or anything like that. And to find this data source, instead of just Googling around, I can use this repository here, because I have these individual subcategories. Biology, for example, if I'm interested in, I don't know, let's go to gene ontology. I can click on this. I'm redirected to this website here. These are all individual websites, and I would have to find them myself, or I can just look at this collection. So this is also a very useful collection of data sets here in the form of a link collection. Now, next up, we have something that can be considered more of a category of websites rather than individual sources, and this is government websites. Oftentimes, governments of countries, of unions, of organizations will have data platforms or dataset collections that you can easily browse and download data from. So, for example, here we have data.gov, which is the United States government open data. You can see we have 300,000 datasets available here. A similar website exists for the EU, a similar website exists for India, and also for smaller countries, like in my case here, I'm living in Austria, and this is the data platform for Austria. So most countries will have something like this, and you can see interesting data sets here, or you can find interesting data sets here regarding, I don't know, infrastructure and climate and economic data or something like this. And this is oftentimes also surprisingly interesting and useful, and I am pretty sure, depending, I don't know what countries you guys are from, but I'm pretty sure that for most countries such a website exists. Just type your country data platform or just your country government data or something like this, and you will probably find a website like this. And this is also a very interesting source for datasets. Next up, we have something that is actually not really a dataset source. It's more like a dataset search engine. It's actually exactly a dataset search engine, and it's Google Dataset Search. So this can be compared maybe to Google Scholar, where you're looking for papers and scientific work. In this case, we're looking for data sets. So for example, if I type something here, I'm not just browsing the internet, I'm browsing data sets. For example, let's try again, Pokemon or something like this. I type it and I see here on the left side the different data sets from the various sources, some of them that we have discussed already. Here, Kaggle, Hugging Face. Then here we have Analyst 2, we have Dataset or Zenodo, we have Hugging Face, Kaggle, and so on. So this is a very useful cross-platform search engine that allows you to find data sets. You can also filter here. For example, I want to have, let's say, image data in this case. Even though it doesn't seem to work super well, because I'm not just looking for pure image data. Image data can also be contained in a table. It doesn't seem to find the Kaggle and Hugging Face data sets here, so this might not be the perfect way to filter this. But in general, this is a very useful tool if you just want to search multiple sources at once. You just go to Google Dataset Search, you type in some keywords and see what you can find. Then we also have DataHub.io, and to be honest, I don't really know what to say about this platform. It's another good high-quality dataset source. I don't know if there's anything special per se to talk about here, so you just have different datasets. I can click on the individual datasets that I'm interested in. I will see a preview, I will see information, metadata about it, and so on. It doesn't seem to me to be a super special platform, but maybe you can find something on this platform. If you don't find it anywhere else, maybe you can find it here. But I needed to get 10 items, so this is more of a filler. It is probably useful for some datasets, but I just wanted to include it so that we can round this up to 10 items. All right, and now last but not least on our list, we have as a dataset source Python packages. Now, if you're doing machine learning and data science, you probably already have packages like Scikit-Learn, Tensorflow, PyTorch, Torchvision, Torchtext, and so on installed, and these oftentimes come already with interfaces to either load datasets directly from the package or to download them from various sources. So for example, Scikit-Learn has load and fetch functions. Load means you already have the data in the package itself. Fetch means you need to download it, and you can use some of the datasets already like this easily. You also have TensorFlow datasets where you have a bunch of different datasets here. Some of them are also from Hugging Face, and we have also Torchvision and Torchtext, which I don't have an example for here. But oftentimes it's the case that certain packages allow you to also just work with datasets. There are also specific packages that focus on providing datasets. So that is, I would say, the 10th and final source. You can use Python packages directly without having to access any websites. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and hope you learned something. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have any dataset sources that I did not mention in this video today, which you think are awesome and people should take a look at, so that we have a more complete list here. Also, let me know from the ones that I did mention, which one do you prefer the most? Which one do you think is the most useful? Or are there some details that I didn't mention here that are important to know? Let us know in the comment section down below. And of course, if you like this video, hit the like button, leave a comment as well. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you don't want to miss a single future video for free. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video, and bye.